Okay, so I just found out about a show called God Friended Me. Yeah, my mom showed it to me. She wanted me to see it because it's a religious thing about an atheist. Oh, yay. Like, anyways, this is Miles. Miles will be the atheist for the purpose of this show. He's also a liberal with podcast, and that podcast has the most pretentious name, The Millennial Prophet. Wow, that name makes me so glad that I was born too late to be a millennial. Then I remember that half my generation's addicted to Fortnite and are using their parents' credit cards to buy V-Bucks, and I just sink back into my room so that no one will associate me with the Fortnite-playing scum that is my people. Anyways, the episode starts out with Miles recording an episode of his podcast. He's interviewing some rabbi friend of his, and this is neat. He's got people of all faiths coming on his podcast. So yeah, it's an all-inclusive thing. Yay. Anyways, good open-minded guy, type of guy. Anyways, she starts talking about the miracle of cyanide that are written about in the Torah. And Miles says that if he made claims about a bit of talking flaming foliage, people would call him insane. And he's like, who knows, maybe, not necessarily. And then Miles just kind of changes the topic to, oh, it's so comforting to believe in religion and y'all just want to live forever. I mean, Miles had her perfectly set up so he could say, how the hell do you know this stuff even happened? It's just stuff that was written down in a book. How do you know it actually happened? They just changed the topic. It feels like the people who were writing this show actually went out to prepare and watched atheist debate. Then they chose just one of the shitter arguments that's easier to ignore, so that they could end the scene on a point where the atheist says a thing, but still it's something that won't really severely challenge the beliefs of the Christians the show's aimed at. I don't know. While he's on his way to work, Miles gets a friend request from a profile called God, and he deletes it. Then this song that starts playing and just keeps saying, I'm different! Yeah, I'm different! It's just playing in the background because this show needs one of those newfangled hippity-hoppity songs to appeal to the youths. And Miles gets an email saying that a radio station, yes, a radio station, you heard that right, a radio station wants his podcast. And we all know that podcasts will never replace radio in a million years. So, Miles and his sister celebrate his success. And I actually really like what they did here. See, his sister does believe, or at least I think she does. Like, that's kind of what's implied. Anyways, she still believes, but she supports the podcast even if they don't agree on stuff. Like, it's a really good relationship of family members of different beliefs. Good job, show. You do a thing I approve of. Anyways, Miles gets another friend request from God, and he sees that God's profile picture is the same cloud that's right in front of him. Some kid set a plant on fire, as us youths do in our spare time. But seriously, in reality, these kids would just be inside playing Fortnite, wasting their lives. Not that playing video games is a waste of your life. Playing Fortnite is. Fortnite is shit. Anyways, God suggests this one guy as a friend for Miles, and Miles bumps into that same guy, and he accidentally saves the guy from killing himself, so... all God's plan! Then God suggests Cara Bloom as a friend. Clara works for some BuzzFeed-esque website, and she's been feeling depressed, got writer's block. I need 1,000 words on my desk by tomorrow! I want pictures of Spider-Man! Damn it! Anyways, Miles keeps getting spammed by God, and he's sick of it. So instead of blocking God, you know, the way that people in real life deal with spam, he tells his hacker friend, sorry, video game enthusiast friend, who lives with his mother. You can see what these writers think of nerds. Also, he's, I think, an Indian? I think he's Indian, and he works for tech support, so Miles asks this guy to hack God's account to get his IP address, and when the collection of stereotypes refuses to help Miles, he does the only sane thing, which is stalking Kara. So in case you weren't convinced by all the crazy coincidences and the flaming plants, God hacks Miles' house, replaces his podcast presentation for the radio station with sermons, starts playing some random music, and maxes out the heat on his thermostat. At this point, it's obvious that it's God and he's real, and God wants to convert some random atheist podcaster. So why isn't God just magic the guy into believing, instead of playing games? No, you know what? The plot twist for the whole series is that it isn't the Christian God. It's just gonna be one of those miscellaneous trickster gods that's fucking with people. It's gonna be Loki. And that's how this ties into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Also, Loki isn't dead. So, Miles stalks Clara again, and she agrees to help him find God, the user behind the God profile, if she can write about it to cure her writer's block. Some stuff happens for about 10 minutes, they go back to Miles' apartment, and God has hacked all his stuff again. So there's this picture of Miles' mom after she survived cancer. So Miles goes to see his dad, who's a preacher. And he wants to ask his dad who the doctors in the picture are. They argue for a bit, saying, "Oh, this is why I don't talk to you. You're lying to everyone." And, "No, you!" Then Kara tells Miles that the nurse in the picture is her mom that abandoned her. So in order to make her feel better, Miles reveals the reason he's an atheist. It's basically the same as Kevin Sorbo's backstory from God's Not Dead. Mother got cancer, he prayed she'd survive. Except in this case, she does survive. Then she gets hit by a car instead of Kevin Sorbo. Therefore, God is fake. I mean, this is much better than Kevin Sorbo screaming, "I hate God! He took everything from me!" I mean, everyone has different reasons for their atheism, but in my experience, the atheists who are atheists because of tragedy aren't really as vocal about their atheism like Miles is. So, I don't want to say that people who are atheists because of tragedy aren't real atheists. I'm just pissy that this is how atheists are constantly portrayed, as people who just gave up on religion for no real reason because of a tragedy or whatever. Like, this could have been such a great moment to mention the problem of evil. Just change it to, and the only way I could have made sense of it is if there was no God. Just change that to, and if God's supposed to be all-powerful and all good, then why would he just give us hope and then take it away like that? That kind of God can't exist. It's not perfect, but hey, it's a bit better and it's a bit less stereotypical without rewriting his whole character. So, Miles decides to help Kara reunite with her mother, but Kara finds out that this crackhead-looking woman, who is her mother, has another daughter and runs off like, "Gasp, this whole time you've been cheating on me with another daughter." Anyways, she gets Kevin Sorboed, hit by a car for the uninitiated. And gasp, it's the guy Miles saved from suicide, and he does some CPR stuff. And so all the problems in everyone's life has been fixed. Miles starts trying to reconnect with his father. Kara gets her writer's block cured and reunites with her mother and new sister. Plus, suicide guy, who was a doctor, and that quit because of depression, is back to work because he did CPR on Kara. God's plan and all that. Hey. So, this is obviously going to be the formula for the show. God spams Miles' profile. Miles sees some guy. This leads him to fixing the problems in everyone's life through his quest to prove that God is fake. And he's going to end up believing in God at the end of the show because, oh shit, I've been doing God's bidding for him this whole time. I mean, the show isn't really that offensive. It's no God's Not Dead, but Miles is definitely a stereotype. He's an atheist because of a personal tragedy. He constantly inserts God being fake into his conversations. He actively advocates for anti-theism. I swear, if this guy had a YouTube channel instead of a podcast, he'd just be such a perfect stereotype. Why couldn't you do one thing right, writers? But at least he's not portrayed as an evil guy. He's just a guy who, in the eyes of the writers, is misinformed. This is just kind of that feel-good God's plan to make the Christian audience feel good. I don't know. What do you think? Just go, if you want to see, the whole thing without my bullshit, nonsensical descriptions, just go to Amazon Prime Video. It's free there. First episode's free. Form your own opinions on the show. I just had to talk about this for a bit. I don't know why. I'm just bored. Why did I watch this show? Fuck. So before the video ends, I just want to ask, what do you guys think of my new background music? Do you like it? Do you not? I don't know. What do you guys think? Also, might not be as active, for a while since I am a high school student. and school is kind of going to be a bigger factor in my life now, so who knows. Also, if you want to see more of my haphazardly edited stuff, check out my other channel called Forensic AO, where I play games, talk about anime and games and all that. It's just kind of like a miscellaneous nerd stuff channel. I don't know. If you're into that stuff, check it out. Links and stuff on screen, description and all that. So yeah. 'Tis over now. Goodbye.